Hi! Magandang araw sa inyong lahat mga kababayan. Hayaan ninyong batiin ko kayo ng isang magandang araw o magandang gabi. Nandito man kayo sa Pilipinas o nasa ibang panig man ng mundo. Ako po ay si Nano, dating nasa corporate world. Ngayon ay isa na akong retiree na nais magbahagi ng isang malawak na karanasan at kaunting kaalaman through books and through this YouTube channel, Empowered by Nano. Sana ay samahan ninyo ako sa exciting journey na ito upang sama-sama natin magkaroon ng panibagong lakas or power, lakas sa pagharap sa hamon ng buhay. Samahan ninyo ako sa kwentuhan at pagtalakay sa mga napapanahong issues na sana ay maging mutually beneficial or kapaki-pakinabang sa ating lahat. Lalo na sa mga OFWs, consumers, PWDs, senior citizens, at abused men at sa kanilang pamilya, kaanak at kaibigan. Kumusta pa kayong lahat? Bilang panimula ay nais kong ibahagi sa inyo ang ambush interview courtesy of my publisher na CentralBooks. Layunin po ng videong ito na mapalalim pa ang ating pagkaunawa or understanding sa kahulugan ng empowerment at sa advocacy na aking nais isulong. Halina at panoorin po natin.
Wrote a series of books when it comes to empowering marginalized groups. Can you tell us more about your career?
Actually, my specialization is on human resources or human capital. So practically all my life I'm doing human resource works, various government and private companies.
So tell us more about why did you start writing books about empowering marginalized groups?
Okay, actually it all started when my wife and I and some of our children started talking about marginalized in our society, especially the so-called the last, the least, and the lost. No? So actually I started writing my book and I base it basically from the first book of my wife, which is Know Your Benefits. So ang nangyayari po is that each of the laws I start focusing on in terms of writing my own books. Now probably you will wonder how come I started talking about empowerment. Because I believe that people, just like anyone, for him or her to be able to avail of benefits, socioeconomic benefits based on the laws of the land, first and foremost should be aware and in fact empowered. For one to be empowered, you've got to know exactly what these laws are, what are the benefits, what are the things that you can avail of from those laws. No? So I started with persons with disabilities, and then the second book actually is, that has not been, because I think there's a law on anti-violence against women and children.
Yes.
But if you notice, my book focuses on the abused men, abused husbands, or male partners. Actually, what started it all is that when we had a reunion in Legazpi with my high school classmates, they started teasing me, like say, my nickname by the way is Nano. Nano, anyway, you started writing your books. Why don't you write something on abused or battered husbands? Right then and there, I told them, why not? It dawned on me that it's one subject matter that a lot of people would not even want to talk about, especially the male or the men or the husbands, because of the macho image, all those stuff. No? The book became a reality. And then the third book, of course, that's on senior citizens, empowering the elderly. My fourth book on empowering the OFWs. Now, the first and the third book basically speaks about, for example, benefits. No? Due these beneficiaries, the disabled people, and then the senior citizens, particularly the 20% discount, and so on and so forth. So again, why empowerment? Because I believe that people, first and foremost, should be aware of the laws, especially the socioeconomic laws, so that they will be able to avail the benefits therefrom. And that's actually what drove me to write these books. And as I was saying earlier, I would like to focus also and do advocacy work with marginalized, and to be able somehow to also share my advocacy.
Can you tell us about your upcoming book, or if you have any revised editions that are coming out?
Okay, actually, my fifth book talks about the consumers. I think you and I, all of us, are consumers. So that book actually has been inspired because of my own experiences. My wife and I, my own experiences. Communication to me is very important. You can never convince somebody if you're not able to communicate effectively. No? So communication, coordination, cooperation, all of this stuff. No?
Aside from law students, which professionals do you think would find this book to be informative and helpful?
I tried to expand the network that I have. Aside from linking myself with various PW organizations, senior citizen associations, OFW advocates, and then on domestic violence, I've been linking up with a counterpart of the Gabriela. Gabriela is the primary initiator of the anti-domestic violence for women and children. But sa Diego silang, that's the counterpart. These are the abused men or domestic battered husbands. And this group, I was able to link with them. I started writing to institutions, endorsing my books. I started writing, expanding my reach to institutions, just like the corporations I told you, to banks, institutions as well, and to NGOs. There are so many associations trying to do advocacy work. I've also started linking up primarily to all the stakeholders, starting with the primary beneficiaries. The government, the Congress, the legislators who enacted the law, should be part of the partnership. So if there are amendments that need to be done, I have to have some linkages with these legislators so that amendments on the law can be done. New laws could be enacted. With the existing law on anti-violence against women and children, it only talks about women. But the men are left out, among others. So he tried to come up with a proposed amendment by saying that the anti-violence should not just be focused on women, but to the partners and the children. Partners meaning whether it's the wife or the husband or the LGBT whatever partner, they should also be there should also be a law that should protect them. Domestic violence happening on the men and the husband, the battered husbands, are just. In fact, the irony is that when a battered husband tries to go to a barangay to file a complaint, would you believe that there is no desk? Unlike the women, they have the women's desk with all the contusions, with the medical certificate and everything. We'll just be referred to the safety committee, because there is no law protecting them. That's how I intend to expand my network in terms of doing advocacy work in institutions. I would like to donate these books for possible references amongst their students for various subjects of interest. So that's how I intend to do it.
Sir, is there any moment in your career that have made an impact on you, either personally or professionally?
So many of them, But I will tell you the latest. Somebody called me, a colleague of mine, very angry when he called me because he ended up a victim of a scam. So he remembered me because at one time my wife and I gave a lecture on our group business consultancy group. He remembered us talking about consumers protection. So I told him, what you can do, write the branch manager, copy furnish legal in the president, and copy furnish Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. And let's start from there. Let's find out what happens. If nothing happens, then we go the second step. If you cannot do it through the usual traditional way, amicably, I always have a way of doing it on the other side. And based on my experiences, actual experiences, part of my book, these are case studies, actual, no? Of course, without mentioning the names, anonymous. I would say about 90-95% I'm able to get things done when I do this at possible. And lo and behold, we're looking forward to hopefully the bank will sell it.
So, our next question for you would be, what advice can you give
A law student who is aspiring to become a lawyer, definitely, first and foremost, you have to have that, goal, that dream, that vision. To me, if you have a goal, you have a passion for doing things, and coupled with discipline, making things happen, I think that's it. That's how to become successful in your career.
Anong inyong masasabi? Sana ay nagustuhan ninyo ang interview at nawa ay may nakuha kayo kahit kaunting mensahe sa Q&A na ito. Sa mga susunod na video ay tatalakay na tayo ng specific topics, kaya't antabayanan or watch out for our next video na tungkol naman sa pagdiriwang natin ng Elderly Week sa unang linggo ng Oktubre. Bibigyan pansin natin at masayang ipagdiriwang ang paggunita sa linggo ng ating mga lolo at lola. Finally, nais kong iwanan sa inyo ang quote na ito mula kay Rahu Shrestha. Hanggang dito na lamang and thank you all for watching. Ako po si Nano, ang inyong kaibigan na nagsasabing be empowered. Until next time, bye! Thank you!